Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Josh Hall. We're here with the Extreme Forces Racing League here at Chicagoland for the Joliet Jake Blues 90, sponsored by Greg Froelich Racing. And we're in here for a great one tonight. Let's take a look real quick at our standings from last week. Currently, Chris Wheeler is still your leader. Joe Wright, not too far behind, though. Sitting back in second, Brady Floyd, Jacob Bowen, after winning last week, and Max McClure round out the field. So we should, after Jacob Bowen had the great win last week, tough luck for Joe Wright last week, and I'm sure this week Joe's hoping to have a little bit of redemption. As we got about, looks to be about a minute and a half left in practice here at Chicagoland. Let's see who's out there making some laps right now. We've got the 8 of Eddie Morris, currently 4th on the speed chart in the Morris Customs machine. Your points leader, Chris Wheeler, doing a little bit of drafting with last week's winner, Jacob Bowen, sporting a new ride this week. Picking up some sponsorship by Bully Dog Coffee Company. Joe Wright, a little further back in the standings, currently 9th. See Dave Wright currently in 10th in the standings on the speed chart. So you got about 30 seconds left before we go green flag racing. Again, thank you for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Josh Hall. You're watching the Extreme Forces Racing League here on Intensity Broadcasting. If you're watching on YouTube, on Facebook, or Twitch, give us a like, a follow, and a subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you're watching on eRacing TV, we do appreciate you watching there as well. What's eRacing TV? Well, it's a free app you can download for your Fire Stick or your Roku. And you can watch live iRacing 7 nights a week, so go ahead and check that out. That's eRacing TV on the Fire Stick and the Roku. Well, practice is just finishing up here. We're getting ready for qualifying here at Chicagoland. And these NexGen cars, a little more difficult to drive with the lack of downforce and side force. They have a lot of downforce, but they don't have a lot of side force. So we'll see these cars struggling just a little bit to find grip. So we got our first taker out on the track for their first qualifying attempt, and that is Jimmy Green in the 25. And Chicagoland, we'll take a look at the track map. A little different design there. As you can see, their backstretch is not truly straight. It's got a little bit of a bend to it. So as they come down the backstretch, they are still kind of not really going straight there on the backstretch. So it makes it a little more difficult for some of these drivers to gauge where they are in relation to other drivers down the backstretch. Just one of the characteristics that makes this track a little more unique. As Jimmy comes across the line for his first lap. He's going to run 31.64. Mike Rentz just ran 31.88. Tyler Aspinall, the 32.06. Ed DeBoer, though, just ran a 31.53 and Bryn George a 55. So, already seeing some fast cars making it out on their first lap. As Jimmy Green works his way through turns 1 and 2. And onto the backstretch. Sorry, off of turns 3 and 4. Excuse me, onto the front stretch. And across the line. And Jimmy's going to run a 31.56. That'll be good enough right now for 6th place. Tyler Aspinall just went to the top of the board with a 31.41. And Ed DeBoer with a 31.44. Josh Carver, 31.47. See us on track right now. We got the 5 of Rob Hamilton crossing the line for his first lap. Takes the green flag. Sweet looking ride in that Vans machine. Works his way through turns 1 and 2. You see the car really bouncing there. Getting a little out of shape through the corner. Able to hold on to it, though, as he comes down the back stretch here. Or off the turn 4 and down the front stretch. To move himself up into the 12th position. As he works his way through turns 1 and 2. And the goal is to get that car right down against that white line. You see him having a little trouble pushing up through the track there and coming across the line this time. That'll be good enough for the 11th spot. Brady Floyd in the 6. 20 on your screen, 6 on the ticker. I'm sorry, 20 on the ticker, 6 on your screen. Coming down the backstretch. And into turns 3 and 4 for his qualifying attempt. This is his first lap. Running that middle line. We've seen everybody kind of running that middle line here tonight. And I personally haven't run the NexGen cars here, so I'm not sure how they do handle, but it looks like everybody's choosing to run that middle line. And now he's going to run right down on that white line for a second lap. He makes his way through turns 3 and 4. And across the line, who gets a little wiggle there off turn 4. And that's going to put him right up on the pole with a 30-40. So knocking Tyler Aspinall off by 1/1000th of a second. As we got about 10 seconds left before we grid them up here. Looks like Max McClure is not going to qualify. So let's take a look at our starting grid. And tonight, starting on pole, the 20 of Brady Floyd with Tyler Aspinall in the 45 to his outside. Row 2, you're going to find Eddie DeBoer and a 3 of Josh Carver. Row 3, we'll find the 82 of Joseph Wright and the 28 of Jacob Bowen. Rolling off 7th is the 22 of Chris Wheeler and the 8 of Eddie Morris in the 8th spot. Ninth is Bryn George in the 7 machine with Stoney Benfield to his outside to round out row number 5. Row 6, the 25 of Jimmy Green and Austin Green. And then back in row 7, we have Dave Wright and Rob Hamilton. And rounding out the field tonight is Mike Rentz and Max McClure. So as we get them all gridded up here and get ready to start rolling for our first pace, our one and only pace lap. Again, we want to thank you for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting for the Joliet Jake Blues 90, sponsored by Greg Froelich Racing. The 90 laps, 1 fast repair, 65% fuel, 3 sets of tires, and tire wear will be a premium here as this is a fast track. There's going to be lots of drafting. We'll see some 2 and 3 wide racing as well. So keep an eye out for that as we see Josh Carver running that 3 machine on a Ford. That looks really weird, and a lot of people are going to think that's blasphemy right there. But here we go. We got the cars rolling here on their pace lap. We'll see who's able to get that great jump here, whether it's going to be Brady Floyd or Tyler Aspinall on the high side. Again, if you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or Twitch, don't forget to drop a like, follow, and subscribe, and let us know who you're pulling for here tonight in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. As we are working the field through turns 3 and 4, getting ready to fire them up here in the Extreme Forces Racing League. Again, Brady Floyd on pole with Tyler Aspinall up on the outside. Pace car getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Green flag is in the air. We are racing here at Chicagoland, and a good jump for our front row. Side-by-side battle still for the lead. And Josh Carver able to get a good jump there. It looks like Eddie DeBauer just did not get rolling the way that he was hoping to. And Tyler Aspinall is going to jump into the lead here as they come off of turn number 2. Side-by-side battle for second place between Josh Carver and Eddie DeBauer as they go through turns 3 and 4. Here comes Jacob Bowen up on that high side trying to make his way up to the front. Again, we already see somebody cheering on Jacob Bowen in the chat. He's trying to make his way up to the front. Looked like he was going to make it 3 wide for a second, but going to work underneath the 3 of Josh Carver. Fall right in behind Brady Floyd. Move himself up into the 3rd position. Right behind Eddie DeBauer on that low side, getting a great push from Joe Wright down the backstretch into turn number 3. And Brady Floyd is going to take the lead away from Tyler Aspinall. Here comes Jacob Bowen up into the 2nd spot. We got cars from the apron down on the grass all the way to the walls. They're all jockeying for position as they come through turns 1 and 2. And caution is out on the track, and it looks like it's for the 91 of Mike Rentz, and I believe Rob Hamilton involved in this one as well, and that's going to bring up our first Wreckage Rewind of the night. See if we can see what happened to these 2 drivers here. As they were coming down the front stretch here. And, oh, it looks like Hamilton didn't realize that Rentz was that low. 2 of them get caught up together and hard up into the wall. It looks like, I believe that's Max McClure that got a little piece of that as well. Doesn't look like he's got too much damage, though, and he's going to be able to continue on without a problem. Jacob Bowen continues the lead here. Sorry, Brady Floyd continues the lead here with Jacob Bowen sitting in second. Don't forget to join us next week at this time, as we'll be moving from here at Chicago to the Ricky Bobby 50 at Talladega. Super Speedway racing in the NexGen cars. See who's able to use the draft to their advantage to take home the win next week. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night. So we're going to have the late model series at 8 o'clock, followed by the SCSRA Xfinity series from Martinsville Speedway. So you don't want to miss that one. So if you like short track action, that should be a good one. Thursday, we've got our Thunderstruck late model series. Friday, the Extreme Xfinity series. Saturday, the Send It Cup series. Sunday, our truck doubleheader. Of course, Monday, you can find the Extreme Forces Monday Night Mayhem. So live iRacing 7 nights a week here on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Lights on the pace car are off. We're getting ready to go back, re-rack them, restack them, and refire them here. Bully Dog Coffee Company and Media says go 28 Bowen. You know, he likes to see that car right there on the front row for this restart. Couple drivers using a little strategy here. We see Dave Wright into the pits. Looks like he's getting some fuel, topping off here. The field works their way through turns 3 and 4. Pace car is getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. We're getting ready to refire him here at Chicagoland. Pace car dips off. Brady Floyd leads him back down to the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air, and Josh Carver wasting no time going all the way down to the bottom of the track to move up into the second position. Jacob Bowen falling back to third as they make their way through turns 1 and 2. Tyler Aspinall also sitting right there trying to stock that 28 machine of Bowen, trying to get a good draft here down the backstretch to make a big move. Well, Brady Floyd making a very defensive move. You see them throw 3 wide through the corner, now back to 2 wide as Aspinall moves himself all the way to the bottom of the track to get around Bowen and sets his sight on Josh Carver. Josh Carver, though, crossover here on Brady Floyd, trying to get everything he can while the tires are cool. And as they come through turns 1 and 2, Josh Carver is going to take over the lead. But Brady Floyd's going to fight back on that high side as they side draft each other down the backstretch. That's going to allow Jacob Bowen and Tyler Aspinall to close right back up. Now Bowen right on the back bumper of Brady Floyd. Here comes Floyd down on the bottom side. Bowen's going to follow him down to the bottom as they come across the line. And Brady Floyd is going to lead that lap. And Jacob Bowen now trying to move himself up into the second position. Just behind the 88 of Ed DeBoer coming into the picture as well. And we got some 3 wide racing behind with Joe Wright, the meat and the sandwich between Chris Wheeler and Tyler Aspinall. Here comes Jacob Bowen making the aggressive move down to the bottom. A little contact leading on the 6 of Brady Floyd. Shoves him up the track. And as they come across the line, Bowen is going to lead that lap. With Josh Carver following right in behind. And they are still 3 wide. Now back to 2 wide behind. And here comes Brady Floyd on that high side, use a little side draft off of Carver to get back to Jacob Bowen. I don't think he's very happy with the way Jacob Bowen just raced him there as they go into turns 3 and 4. Front 3, single file, then behind you've got 2x2x2x2. As here comes the slingshot from the 6 of Brady Floyd. Now he's going to cross him over. Bowen's going to be right there to throw the big block. Meanwhile, the rest of the field is all 2x2 behind. Looks like DeBauer and Joe Wright starting to pull away from that second pack in single file. Now they're looking to go back 3 wide as we got Joseph Wright back in the middle of the sandwich with DeBauer on the high side and Chris Wheeler on the bottom. Here comes Eddie Morris, though, giving a big push to Joe Wright, trying to get him back up there. Now Eddie's going to look up to the high side, and we are back to 3 wide racing. As they file back to 2 wide as they come down the backstretch. Big move for Brady Floyd down the backstretch and into turn number 3. Now he's going to try and take the lead the same way Bowen took the lead before. As they come off of turn number 4, Brady Floyd all the way down to the grass, but Jacob Bowen not going away easily. He's battling hard back on that high side. Through turns 1 and 2 again. Now Chris Wheeler joining the party with this group up here, as he's moved himself in position to try to mix it up here for the podium. Don't forget, we are right into the stage right now. There will be a stage break in this race. Stage break will be on lap number 25, so we are about just over 10 laps to the stage as Carver and Chris Wheeler balance side by side. Now Wheeler's going to have to tuck back in behind Josh Carver. Brady Floyd trying to break the draft, throwing a big block down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. That's going to allow Bowen to catch right back up onto that back bumper. So we ride along here with Brady Floyd, looking at the back bumper, at the front bumper here of Jacob Bowen. And you hear him wide open all the way around the track, not having to lift. And that's going to allow Bowen to be able to use that draft and try to slingshot him as they come down the front stretch here. With Floyd doing everything he can to make that car as wide as possible. I've got a bit of a 2-car breakaway here, as now Jacob Bowen looking up to the high side. Floyd's going to throw the big block there on the high side, and Floyd is going to continue to lead here. Carver now kind of in the middle between the 2 groups. You see Eddie Morris and Joe Wright racing hard for that 4th and 5th position. Here comes Tyler Aspinall back into the mix as he was up at the front, got shuffled to the rear, and now him and Chris Wheeler working up on that high side, trying to get them their way back up to the front. Ed DeBauer is the last car in this group. Then you've got to go all the way back to almost 3 seconds to find our second group of Stoney Benfield, Dave Wright, Jimmy Green, Max McClure, Bryn George. These guys all battling for that final playoff spot, or final stage point. As right now, Stoney Benfield is in the 10th position. Meanwhile, up front, we got a battle for second. Jacob Bowen and Josh Carver going at it. Carver up on the high side. Bowen using a little bit of a side draft, trying to keep that 3-car behind him. They come across the line that time. Carver's going to have the advantage as they go into turn number 1. And the yellow flag is back out. I take it back. It looks like that's going to be the stage break. They had the wrong number up in the chat for me to see. So Brady Floyd will be your stage winner. Josh Carver in second. Jacob Bowen third. Joe Wright, Eddie Morris, Chris Wheeler, Tyler Aspinall, Eddie DeBoer, Austin Green, and Stoney Benfield getting that final stage point here. I imagine as much as we saw Jacob Bowen falling off right there, times were off almost 3 seconds. I imagine the entire field is going to come down onto pit road this time. Here they all come. Looks like only Dave Wright staying out as he went in and pit on lap number 5. So he's got a little bit. It looks like he took tires too, so he might have a little fresher tires. And might be trying to run a little different strategy here. Oh, Brady Floyd missed his pit stall. So we get ready to watch the race off pit road. And Carver's going to win off. Then Bowen. Oh, great battle there between Joe Wright, Chris Wheeler, and Eddie Morris. Another battle off pit road right there. And it looks like Josh Carver will be the first car off of pit road. Brady Floyd, Jacob Bowen, Joe Wright, Chris Wheeler, Eddie Morris, Ed DeBauer, Austin Green, Tyler Aspinall, Rob Hamilton, Stoney Benfield, Jimmy Green, Mike Rentz, Bryn George, and Max McClure being the last car off of pit road here. I think he had a little bit of damage. Looked like he was just getting a little bit of damage repaired. Yep, you see the damage to that left rear of the car. So you might as well get that fixed here under yellow. And Dave Wright is your current leader. And now Joe Wright coming back down pit road. Joe might be just coming down just to take fuel here. Yep, just a little top off on fuel. As the rest of the field's re-racking, restacking, and getting ready to refire as the lights on the pace car are off. So Dave Wright's going to be the control car this time. He's going to choose the inside. Josh Carver to the outside. Brady Floyd, Jacob Bowen in the second row. Chris Wheeler, Eddie Morris in the third row. As we get ready for that pace car to take that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. And Dave Wright is going to lead us back down to the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing here at Chicagoland, and a great jump as Brady Floyd was looking to make it 3 wide in the middle there, but thought better of it. And Dave Wright able to hold on with those older tires up front, and we'll have to see if that continues as Brady Floyd shoves it all the way down to the bottom, almost down on the apron to try to get his nose underneath Dave Wright. He's going to make that happen. He's going to slide Dave up into the third lane. Now Dave's going to try to keep his momentum as they come off the corner. Oh, a little contact a little further back between Tyler Aspinall. I believe there's DeBauer on the bottom side as well. As they work their way down the backstretch and into turn number 3. Brady Floyd's got a mirror full of Chris Wheeler. And Chris kind of biding time. He was running mid-pack, just kind of seeing how the car would drive in traffic. Now that he's up closer to the fresh air, his car's really starting to come alive. little further back, we just had some 2 and 3 wide racing back here. Dave Wright has fallen all the way back into the 7th position as the Bowers getting a run on him, around him on the bottom lane. Here comes Austin and Jimmy Green also trying to get around the 24 of Dave Wright. So the tire gamble did not pay off for him. But it's early enough in the race where it's a good job to try that right now. As Eddie Morris is all over the back bumper of Jacob Bowen trying to take over that 4th position. And we've got a battle for the lead between Chris Wheeler and Brady Floyd. As they're now side by side. Now Wheeler losing the momentum up on the high side with the big push here from the 3 of Josh Carver on the 6 of Brady Floyd. And Brady's going to continue to lead here as Carver's going to slide right up in front of Chris Wheeler as they come through turns 1 and 2. Eddie Morris, Jacob Bowen side by side for that 4th position. Here comes DeBauer into the mix as well. The 88 machine giving Eddie Morris the big push down the backstretch. And now we got Chris Wheeler was just taking a look to the inside. Josh Carver, and caution is out. Joseph Wright is around in turn number 1. It looks like Max McClure having some issues as well. He's turned around up against the wall. That's going to bring up our 2nd Wreckage Rewind of the night. So you can see what happened to Joe as he was racing the 5 of Rob Hamilton pretty hard here. As they come into turn number 3. Oh, looks like a little bit of possible netcode. And let's rewind that one and double check if there was actually some contact there. Or if that was just netcode between these two. We'll take a look high above in the blimp. And, yeah, looks like just a bit of netcode between those two drivers. And Rob Hamilton trying to hold on to it, gets loose, comes back down the track, up into Joe Wright, who gets right reared and gets that hard angle, awful angle up into the wall. That catches Mike Rentz, and Max McClure gets a piece of Hamilton after the fact. And that's what spun Max around up into the outside safer barrier. It looks like Max is holding on to that reset. Doesn't look like he had heavy enough damage to really have to worry about going in and getting it fixed. Is going to reset up the front of the field here. Clean up in turn 4, absolutely. So we're getting ready to re-rack them, restack them, and refire them here. With Brady Floyd restarting as the control car on the bottom side. Josh Carver in second. Chris Wheeler and Eddie Morris in the second row. Then you'll find Ed DeBauer and Jacob Bowen in the third row. Again, thank you for watching Intensity Broadcasting. This is the Joliet Jake Blues 90, sponsored by Greg Froelich Racing. In the Extreme Forces Racing League. As we get ready to go back green flag racing, we're re-racked, restacked, get ready to refire as the field's working their way through turns 3 and 4. The pace car is getting ready to dip on the pit road so we can go back racing once again. And Brady Floyd immediately to the gas. Green flag is out. Josh Carver crossing down before the start-finish line. Trying to put the big block on Chris Wheeler as they go into turns 1 and 2. Now Josh Carver with the big run on the outside in that 3 machine. Chris Wheeler trying to decide who he's going to go with here as they come through turns 3 and 4. Right now it looks like he's going to go with Brady Floyd, as Brady Floyd is going to go all the way down to the grass on the front stretch. Here comes Eddie Morris up into the picture. Morris up on the high side behind Carver, trying to give that 3 machine a big push here out front. Bowen up on that high side, just got passed by Jimmy Green, but there's still a lot of racing as we're not even halfway yet. As we see Josh Carver and Brady Floyd still side by side for the lead as they work their way off of turn number 4 and down the front stretch. And that lap was too close to tell, but we're going to give that one to Josh Carver by just a hair. They work their way back through turns 1 and 2. Eddie Morris giving a big push now to Josh Carver in that 3 machine. And is Carver going to stay up there? He is, and that's going to allow Brady Floyd to have to tuck in behind Eddie Morris, but not so fast, as now he's making a big move down to the inside, back around Eddie. So here comes Brady Floyd. And Jacob Bowen just got a little contact. He just got pushed all the way back into the 10th position as Eddie Morris and Brady Floyd side by side leaning on each other through turns 1 and 2 and down onto the backstretch. Chris Wheeler right there to pounce in case somebody makes a mistake. Awesome DeBauer right there trying to work that bottom lane. Here comes the bottom lane with a head of steam. Josh Carver throws the big block there coming off of turn number 4 and down the front stretch, leaving Eddie Morris all by himself up on that high side. Now the help is coming as everybody had to move their way up the track to make the corner. Meanwhile, while all that's happening, Tyler Aspinall and Bryn George now making their way up into the mix. And here comes Jacob Bowen back down on the inside, trying to move himself back up towards the front. Chris Wheeler now to the inside of Josh Carver as they come down the front stretch and into turn number 1. Chris Wheeler moved him up into the 2nd position. That's going to bounce Carver back 1 spot and almost into the clutches of DeBauer, who's coming quickly with a big push now from the 7 of Bryn George. Eddie Moore stuck on that high side with no help, getting shuffled back to the rear. Wishing somebody would go up there and give him a hand, as here comes Wheeler now stuck on the outside as Josh Carver made the crossover. Get down underneath him as they go into turns 1 and 2. Brady Floyd continues the lead as they're side by side for 2nd place, and the more they stay side by side, that's A, going to let the pack catch up, and B, that's going to allow Brady Floyd to get a little bit of a run here and pull away. As the field works their way into turns 1 and 2 again, Brady Floyd still out in front of Josh Carver. Chris Wheeler's fallen all the way back to the 5th spot. Now he's picked up Eddie Morris. Eddie Morris and him up on the high side. Tyler Aspinall and Jacob Bowen trying to make his way up onto the high side as well, as he does. And now he might get a little bit of momentum up on that high lane. Now Chris Wheeler back down to the bottom. That's going to give Eddie Morris just a little bit of a draft here as Eddie makes his way down to the bottom, and now Bowen and Aspinall trying to work together to get themselves up to the front. Top 5 cars were just single file. Now Wheeler looking back down to the low side, up underneath the 88 machine. Not able to get the run. He's going to have to tuck back up in line. Jacob Bowen up on that high side, trying to get around Bryn George here to try to retake that 7th position and move himself back up in striking distance of the front. Top 6 cars, all single file as they work their way down the backstretch. Into turn 3 and 4, Brady Floyd pushes up the track just a little bit. That's going to allow Carver to get the run down to the inside, and Carver is going to take over the lead position here as DeBauer is going to try to follow him right along, and Chris Wheeler as well, and that's going to shuffle Brady Floyd up on the high side. Well, now Floyd's going to be able to tuck back in. Looks down to the inside, but big block from DeBauer. So Ed DeBauer up into the second position, setting his sights on Josh Carver. Carver trying to make that car as wide as he can to keep both Brady Floyd and DeBauer from getting back around. As now we've got a 3-car breakaway up at the front. Oh, you're hearing Josh Carver having a lift just a little bit as the tires are starting to wear out. A little further back, Tyler Aspinall, Eddie Moore's. Eddie Moore's got some damage now to the right side of that car, and I don't know if he made some contact with another car or where that came from, because I didn't notice it earlier. As now we got a pass coming up for the lead as Ed DeBauer to the inside of Josh Carver trying to take that lead away. And DeBauer's going to lead that lap right there, but Brady Floyd now giving a big push to Carver. Now Floyd's going to dump Carver and move himself down to the bottom lane. As, oh, there's some contact between the 88 and the 3. Another 3 wide for the lead. DeBauer stuck in the middle. Carver on top. Carver's going to get the run and get the advantage into turn number 3 as Brady Floyd is going to slide back into that second position. Now Aspinall trying to make it 3 wide as they come down the front stretch. Aspinall to the outside of Brady Floyd, and Eddie Morris with a big run, but nowhere to take it. Has to move himself all the way up to the high side to keep from running into the back of the 45 machine. Here comes Wheeler and Bryn George up into the picture as well as the 25 of Jimmy Green. And Eddie Morris up into the wall. As Brady Floyd falls all the way back to the 3rd spot. Tyler Aspinall trying to look down underneath that 6 machine, backs out of it wisely. And we'll try to get the run again as they come off of the corner. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, we still have the second group back here. Austin Green, Dave Wright, Mike Rentz, Stoney Benfield, Mike Hamilton, Joe Wright, who's a lap down. Trying to catch their way back up to the front. As the battle of the lead continues, as we are just past the halfway mark in this one. And with 65% fuel, I imagine we'll see these cars coming down pit road somewhere around lap 65 or so. That'd be about 45 laps on the fuel run as a little contact is made between Aspinall and George as they come through the corner and onto the front stretch. Still side by side. Aspinall on the bottom trying to get that low line advantage. Eddie Morris trying to give a little bit of push to Bryn George, trying to push him by that 45 machine. A little further back, we've got some side-by-side racing between Jimmy Green and Chris Wheeler. Wheeler's going to move himself up into the 7th position. And Jacob Owen just kind of riding in the back here, biding his time. Not letting these guys get away, but you hear him lifting, saving a little bit of fuel. Trying to get a little bit of a, try to save those tires just a little bit. It looked like he was sawing on the wheel just a little bit. We take a look at Jacob's hands here. Nice and smooth down the front stretch. Trying to get that car to turn the best he can. No pressure from behind. Bowen's just out there right now on a Sunday drive. Meanwhile, up front, we've got a three-way battle for the lead. I'm sorry, that's not a three-way battle for the lead. That is them going around the lap car of Max McClure. Brady Floyd now looking down to the inside of Josh Carver. Carver runs all the way up against the wall here, comes back down, trying to get that momentum through the corner. Still side by side for lead as Ed DeBoer's got the best view of this. Looking for a mistake to be made, but Bryn George has better ideas. He's going to try to come up here as well to challenge up in the mix here. Now Tyler Aspinall down to the bottom of Bryn George. As these six cars are battling hard for position. And again, we are just a few laps from, I was going to say a few laps from green flag pit stops, but we've got an incident on track between Eddie Morris and the lap car of Max McClure. And that's going to bring up another Wreckage Rewind. Now, it looks like it started with Eddie Morris having some issues. See if we can see here what happened to Eddie. Oh, Max just comes up the track. He thought he was clear. Comes right up the track, up into the 8 machine. Two of them go sliding down through the infield. I think that happened right in front of Jacob Bowen, too. Yeah, let's ride along with that 28 machine and see exactly what he just saw. This happens that quickly. So here comes the entire field back down on the pit road. Brady Floyd again misses his pit stall. That's going to cost him a ton of time backing up there. Because the entire field's getting 4 tires and fuel. I don't think anybody's going to gamble with 2 tires. Here comes the race off pit road. Chris Wheeler, Josh Carver, Bryn George, DeBauer, Dave Wright, Brady Floyd, Tyler Aspinall off. We got Stoney Benfield, Mike Rentz coming off next. Comes Jacob Bowen back in 10th. So Chris Wheeler taking 2 tires here to move himself up into the lead. And Brady Floyd having the longest pit stop due to having to back up. So tough break for him. One car it's not a tough break for would be the 82 of Joseph Wright. No, I take that back. Joe did not get his lap back. I thought Joe was going to get his lap back that time by. So Joe currently on pit road, getting his service done. As the field makes their way down the backstretch. Again, we want to remind you to join us tomorrow night for a doubleheader as we're going to have the SCSRA Xfinity Series from Martinsville. If you like short track racing, check that out. And before that, I just want to double check what the race is before that. Is the Club Jerky Mayhem Modifieds, powered by Major's Garage, which will be just before the SCSRA Xfinity Series. So if you like short track racing, we'll have the Modifieds at 8. We'll have the Xfinity Series at 9:30. You don't want to miss either one of those races, so check those both out tomorrow. Then Thursday, we'll have the Thunderstruck Super Late Model Series, followed by the Extreme Xfinity Series, and then our Sunday night doubleheader. Well, lights are off on the pace car. We're getting ready to go back green flag racing here at Chicagoland. Chris Wheeler on the inside, Josh Carver up on the outside. Wheeler seeing if he can make those two tires work here. See if Bryn George can give Chris Wheeler a good push here on the start as well. As the pace car pulls off onto pit road, Wheeler's going to lead him back down to the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. We are back racing here at Chicagoland, and pretty mild restart here as the entire field stays pretty much single file through turns 1 and 2. Here comes Carver, though, up on the high side, trying to get back around Chris Wheeler, trying to take that lead back. And Dave Wright up into the 4th position, trying to work around the inside of Bryn George. Here comes Tyler Aspinall, making it 3 wide, as Dave Wright has to back out of it. He's going to fall all the way to the back of this little group here, as Josh Carver is going to take the lead as they go into turns 1 and 2. And oh, Chris Wheeler gets turned. Going through the grass, Wheeler able to hold on to it. What a save for that 22 machine. We are going to continue to be green. See if we take another look at that one real quick. We see Wheeler gets a little bump here. No, he just gets loose all by himself, catches the apron, goes down through the grass. Able to hold on to it, though. Great save for that 22 machine. Up front, Josh Carver is continuing to lead with Bryn George in second. Tyler Aspinall stuck on the high side. Here comes Jacob Bowen down on the low side, but not able to get along Aspinall, as here comes Rentz down on the bottom now. Aspinall trying to make it 3 wide as they come through the tri-oval. And again, Dave Wright being the meat in the sandwich. Your top 3 nose to tail right now, pulling away from the group behind. as Mike Rentz has Tyler Aspinall all over him. As Aspinall's going to dive down to the bottom, but Rentz is going to dive down there and take that line away. See Aspinall working up on the high side, trying to get the run here. He's got Jacob Bowen. Bowen looking now to the inside. Now Bowen with the momentum on the low side. He's got Joseph Wright, who is a lap down. Joe trying to get back up to the front, and looks like we have a yellow flag on the track. It is Austin Green around. Oh, still having some trouble getting that thing spun around the right way. That's going to bring up yet another Wreckage Rewind here. And Austin Green was just stuck in the middle, 3 wide, between Dave Wright and Eddie Morris. See what happened here is he is the meat in the sandwich. It's like he comes down almost into Eddie Morris. I don't think Eddie realized how close they were running there. Oh, a little bit of contact. Yeah, Green came way down the track, down into Eddie, excuse me. 3 of them all make contact. Dave Wright, heavy damage. We see Green sliding back across the track. A couple cars having to go down to the grass to get out of the way, and tough break for him as Joe Wright, I believe, will be our lucky dog this time. So they cross the line. He should get the wave around, be able to go all the way around the field and get his lap back. There we go. Just want to check some camera views there. Make sure we got everything working out on our side. As we have just 25 laps to go here. Blue Dog Coffee Company says, love the camera shots. Trying to get it as entertaining as I can for you guys. Watch it at home, all 9 of you we see there watching with us right now. Got 2 on Twitch, 5 on YouTube, and 2 on Facebook, so we do appreciate you. And as we winding down here and have less than 25 laps to go when we take the green flag, let us know who you're pulling for. We know who Bully Dog Coffee Company is pulling for. He's pulling for that 28 machine of Jacob Bowen. Lights are still on the pace car, so we're going to go at least one more lap here before we go green flag racing. Here goes the field, gets ready to go back green flag racing. Josh Carver is going to take the inside lane, putting Bryn George up on the high side. Brady Floyd and Mike Rentz will make up your second row. So here we go, 23 laps ago, 22 laps ago, when we take the green flag here to settle it here at Chicagoland in the Joliet Jake Blues 90, sponsored by Greg Froelich Racing. Pace car is getting ready to pull off here. Josh Carver is going to lead them back down to the restart zone. Green flag back in the air, and a looks like some tire spin out of Max McClure back there. Able to get it, hang on to it though. Is Ed DeBauer now up into the 7th position. Mike Rentz having a great run up into the 5th position, up 10 spots from where he started. Here comes Tyler. Ooh, Tyler Aspinall had a bit of a blink there. A little connection issue. As Brady Floyd now up into the 2nd position. Trying to take that position away from Josh Carver. So they go through turns 1 and 2. Brady trying to get all the way down as low as he can, trying to get a nose underneath that 3 machine. Just not able to do it. Here comes Aspinall though. Right there in the mix in the late runnings of this race. Here comes Floyd down underneath Carver, down to the apron. Brady Floyd's going to take over the lead. Here comes Aspinall though now looking down to the inside. Not quite there though to get the nose underneath. Josh Carver now battling back up on that high side. Bryn George up into the mix as well. And here comes Bowen looking to the middle. Now he's going to look down to the bottom underneath the 88 of Bower. Now the field is all packed tightly together here as they work their way down the backstretch. See Dave and Joe Wright getting lined up back there as Aspinall still trying to find his way around Brady Floyd, just not able to do anything just yet. They come across the line this time, 18 laps to go. Mike Rentz up on that high side, trying to give Josh Carver the push, but Jacob Bowen's going to get down to the low side and get around Rentz, and he's going to start working on the 3 of Josh Carver. He's giving a big push to the 88 machine. Here comes Dave Wright now, trying to work his way back up there as well. Stoney Benfield up into the mix. And it looks like Chris Wheeler has lost the draft as they are 3 wide up in front. Now back to 2 wide in the middle of the pack. And Joe Wright's going to force it 3 wide down onto the bottom. As they fan back to 2 wide. Dave Wright now taking 3 wide, putting DeBauer up into the middle. Oh, some contact. Bowen makes some contact, able to hold on to it. Dave Wright and Bowen made some heavy contact there. No caution. We're still green flag racing. That's going to shake up the standings, though, just a little bit. Your top 4 now. Throw a blanket over them. As Brady Floyd now still trying to hold off the 45 machine of Tyler Aspinall. Have just 15 laps to go here. Again, your top four, you could throw a blanket over them right now. Stoney Benfield trying to come up into the mix as well. Is he sitting back in fifth and catching this group? So Bryn George trying to get down to the inside, not able to make that run, so he's going to tuck back in behind. Austin Blaylock, it's good to see you watching some old friends racing. We got 13 laps to go here as they're still single file for the lead. Biding their time right now, trying to figure out when the move's going to be made. While that's going on, David, Joe Wright have caught the tail end of this field. Looks like Joe's trying to stay out of trouble right now in case something happens. You know, he used up his reset earlier. So he's just trying to keep himself out of trouble at the moment. As our leaders still continue to stay single file. Dave Wright making the move around Mike Rentz now. Trying to take that sixth position away. As laps are winding down, when they come across the stripe this time by, we'll have just 10 laps to go here to settle it at Chicagoland. Right now, it looks like everybody's just real content running single file. Back here we see this second group of cars led by Chris Wheeler, Jacob Bowen, Ed DeBauer, Jimmy Green. Not really close enough to each other to get a draft to bring themselves up to the front. Just 9 laps of racing left here as Brady Floyd continues the lead over Tyler Aspinall. Like Bryn George having a little bit of a connection issue there, able to get that cleared up, and Josh Carver trying to find the opportunity to try to make the move. Same with Tyler Aspinall, just not there just yet to make the move. Here comes Bryn George. Looked like he was going to make a move down to the inside, thought better of it. Eight laps to go to settle it. Again, our top 5, single file, under a blanket. Dave Wright, though, slowly creeping into the picture. Last time by, he was a little bit quicker than this pack. So he's trying to make his way up. As we see Carver now making the move around Bryn George. Tight racing right here. See just how close these two are racing each other. Almost some contact there. We're right along with Josh Carver. Hear him getting out of the throttle quite a bit there to keep from running up into the side of the 7. Here comes Dave Wright now into the picture as well. So Dave Wright is there working that high side as the field comes down through the trioval. 5 laps to go. That really hurt Carver, sending him all the way back into fourth. Lost his momentum as we got side by side between Dave Wright and Stoney Benfield. And Dave Wright is going to clear Benfield as they go into turn number 3. Is there going to be enough time for him to get up there? That's the question. And now Benfield working back down on the low side. While that's going on, our leaders continue to stay single file. 4 laps to go. Now Carver looking back up onto the high side. Almost touching as they come through turns 3 and 4. And across the line, 3 laps to go. And that's going to separate those enough to make it a 2-car race here between Aspinall and Floyd. Floyd throwing a little bit of a block, running that low line, trying to break the draft. Here comes Aspinall down to the bottom. Not able to get there. He's going to have to fall back in line. 2 laps to go. Aspinall doing everything he can, trying to get around the 6 of Brady Floyd. As they come off of turn number 2, Brady Floyd continues to run that defensive line down the backstretch. Ooh, a little contact behind him between Bryn George and Stoney Benfield. As they come off of turn number 4, white flag is in the air. Josh Carver now has a head of steam. He is right back in the mix of things. Can he get a run down the backstretch and try to take over the position as they come through turns 1 and 2? Oh, sorry, Benfield got loose up into the wall. Here comes Carver. Carver's got the draft. Can he make it happen here? Coming through turns 3 and 4, Aspinall right there on the back bumper as they come off of turn number 4. Can Aspinall make a one last ditch effort? He cannot, and Brady Floyd is going to win it here. Tyler Aspinall comes home in second. Josh Carver in third. Bryn George and David Wright make up your top 5. Now, I saw Sonny Benfield had some issues back here. See if we can see what happened to the 75. I think there was a little bit of contact between the 7 and the 75. Yep, the 7 just pushed up the track. Stoney caught the wall. And pretty much ended his day there. But it's all about the 6 of Brady Floyd as he celebrates on the front stretch. Yeah, it looks like the engine's going to expire on that car. As we take a look at our results. Again, Brady Floyd, your winner. Tyler Aspinall, Josh Carver, Bryn George, Dave Wright. Round out your top 5. Joseph Wright gets back up into the 6th position. Chris Wheeler, great rebound, back in the 7th. Ed DeBauer, Mike Rentz, Stoney Benfield round out your top 10. Then Jimmy Green, Jacob Bowen, Eddie Morris, your last 3 cars on the lead lap. Then Max McClure, Austin Green, and Rob Hamilton round out the field. See if we can bring in our 3rd place finisher, Josh Carver, which doesn't look like he's in the waiting room just yet. There he is. Let's take a stock with Josh here. Josh, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, what's going on, Josh?
Man, great run tonight. A lot of hard racing there towards the end. Looks like you had an opportunity there, and it kind of got taken away from you when everybody went underneath you, but you were able to battle back and come back with 3rd. You got to be happy with the way the race finished there at the end.
Yeah, winning last week, I had a computer failure and had missed like 3 weeks. So coming back and winning last week and then getting a third place tonight. That's a good way to come back. So it sucked. I was trying to ride there and forth for a while. I was just trying to save tires, let them pull me around the track. I thought, okay, I'm cooling things down. I'll try to make a run for it. But there at the end, I mean, I didn't have nothing for him. I couldn't get up to him to get beside him. I was trying hard. I was going to try to help Tyler. I was going to push him a little bit, but he said the same thing. It's just wear on the tires. There wasn't nothing there. Couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, it brings me to my next question was strategy tonight. Saving tires seemed to be the thing, and you guys were gearing up for that green flag pit stop, and the yellow came out. Were you looking forward to green flag pit stops? Think that would have separated the.
Green.
I was gonna say, was that gonna separate the field a little bit, or?
I think it would have really spaced things out a lot, and yeah, it probably would have went green. I was really hoping to get a green flag pit stop in there. I feel like I excel best on pit road, so that's one of my better spots.
Well, awesome job again coming home with the top 3 tonight. The win last week, we didn't get to talk to you last week, but
yeah.
Again, congrats on the win, on the 3rd place tonight. And anybody you got to thank, any shots you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, definitely. I want to give a shout out to Rev. I couldn't do this without them. Jimmy Green and Ed and Stoney Benfield and them. They've helped put in seat time for us practice and whatnot. Give a shout out to Tyler and Bradley. They both ran a good race tonight. It was fun battling up there tonight.
Well, again, congratulations on the 3rd place finish. And as the season goes on, I'm sure we'll be talking again soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good one.
So as your 3rd place finisher, Josh Carver. Let's bring in your 2nd place finisher, Tyler Aspinall. Tyler, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, I got you.
Man, great 2nd place finish. I know you were going for the win there, but looks like you weren't able to make that move there at the end. What happened there towards the end? Did the car just stall out, or just didn't get an opportunity to get that big run like he had earlier?
To be honest, I didn't really want to pass him. I told him whenever I got up on his bumper around, I think it was 20 or 15 to go, I forget when. He was driving all over the place, and I told him, like, hey, I'm not going to pass you here. I don't plan on doing that. And I told the guys I was in the Discord channel with, like, I'm going to get this guy 10 to go. But it was really all about the draft, because the only thing that was keeping me with Brady was the arrow push from Bryn. So I realized if I'm going to make my move, it's got to be with 2 to go. And unfortunately for me, everybody was broken up with 2 to go. So I had no help getting past Brady at all.
Yeah, that was going to be my question, is if the draft was really beneficial there or not. But towards the middle part of that race, it looked like we were going to have some green flag pit stops. They never came through. Were you looking forward to green flag pit stops, and did you have strategy planned out if it was to go green there?
I'll be honest with you, I was just piggybacking on Joe's strategy, because he always seems to be smartest with it. I didn't really have a strategy coming into the race, because me personally, I thought there was going to be some cautions that could help me out through the race, and lucky for me, there was.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations again on the 2nd place finish. Anybody you want to thank? Any shout you got to give before we let you go here tonight?
Here I gotta get out an entire list. Grammy, other Grammy, Aunt Sherry, Andy, Mom, Uncle Travis. I think that's everybody that I know of that's watching. But thank you guys for watching, and anybody else who seems to support me.
Well, awesome job again, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thanks, Josh.
Let's bring in your winner tonight here, the driver of the 6 machine, Brady Floyd. Brady, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Man, congratulations on the win. Kind of a up and down race for you. Started up at the front, started on the pole, fell back a little bit, had some trouble on pit road under yellow, missing your pit stall a couple times, but able to drive yourself back up to the front. What was the secret to getting yourself up to the front and staying there?
Secret today was luck. Definitely got really lucky. Was able to manipulate the lanes. I think if I had any edge, it was just that I was racing everybody so hard. I don't really like racing people that hard, but in these cars you have to if you're going to get anywhere. So there were a lot of times where I made a little risky move, keeping it pinned to the bottom off 2 is how I got a lot of the passing done, or just a late send into one of the corners, just catching people off guard. But once we got single filed out there, towards the end, it was, I mean, when you're in a line like that, there's nothing Tyler can do, because if he tries to go for a pass on me, then 10th place and forward's going to be in the battle for the lead. So credit to him. He said he wasn't going to make a move on me until late, and then I know he tried late, and just didn't have the tire, didn't have the help behind him.
Now, I hate to bring it up again, but I saw you have some issues there on pit road, and we almost had some green flag pit stops. Were you kind of worried about those green flag pit stops with the troubles you had under yellow?
Oh, definitely. I don't think I practiced pit entry at all here, and then obviously I don't have too much seat time in these things, so I'm sliding through the box every race. The second one was really bad. I left it. I tried to shift into reverse, and I was going like 2 miles an hour forward, so it wouldn't let me shift out of first until I was stopped. So, or shift into reverse until I was stopped. So that I thought was going to ruin it. Went from first back to sixth, but luckily just got a pretty good restart. Was able to work with Bryn, teammate, and then just made, I guess, a good enough move for the lead, and then used the dirty air to keep everybody behind me.
Well, again, awesome job with the win here tonight. And before I let you go, anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs you got to give here tonight?
Oh, absolutely. Definitely want to thank Bryn. He helped me out a lot tonight. Pretty good finish for him. I know he was apologizing for some contact there he had on the last lap. So sorry to whoever that was. I didn't really get to see. Thank you to Tyler for racing me clean. Everybody else for racing me pretty clean. Want to thank Four Cloak Media, Pierce Graphics, Chris Pierce, and Wes Gallo, and Atkinson Designs. But that about rounds it out.
Well, again, awesome job here tonight. And as we move on to Talladega, how do you like your chances next week?
Oh, I don't. I love super speedways, but the Cup package and the NexGen package is just got to be single file train. So I'll try to keep myself awake for it, I guess. But no, it was fun tonight. Probably won't be as exciting next week, but we'll see if we can get anything done there.
Well, hopefully we'll talk to you again next week as well.
Hopefully. Thank you so much. You have a good one.
You as well. So that was your winner there, Brady Floyd. Don't forget, next week, join us here as we're going to take on Talladega for 50 laps. Also, don't forget to join us tomorrow night as we got our doubleheader. We've got the Mayhem Modifieds going off at 8 p.m. Eastern, followed by the SCSRA Xfinity Series for Martinsville. So if you like short track racing, join us tomorrow night for the doubleheader. Atlee Hatman Weiss will have the call for both races, and we look forward to seeing you there. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe here on Intensity Broadcasting. We really do appreciate it. It does help us out a lot. Also, again, congratulations to the winner tonight, Jacob Bowen, and everybody in the top three. And we'll hopefully see you guys again tomorrow night. And as our boy Atlee Hatman Weiss would say, over